See, we have an intro.
Nice.
Wait. So, hi everybody. We are back with episode 6.66 of the Ultimate Guide to Spooky Empire. We apologize for the late start tonight. We had some technical difficulties. We do have Mike joining us in a moment. Again, like I said, technical difficulties. And when we have with us the ever wonderful Boris with us tonight.
Hello.
Where's Darth Tater? Because we had like
Welcome.
special guest Darth Tater.
He's over there.
He's hiding.
And Vampire Boris.
Oh, and wait, where's the... All right, enough of that nonsense. It's gonna be one of those nights, guys. One of the things I wanted to get out of the way first and foremost, and I've put this in some of the other videos, but I wanted to put this out there, a disclaimer. There's been a lot of various opinions shared, about a lot of things at Spooky, and we just want to put the disclaimer out there that we do not work for Spooky. We are not official Spooky staff. Our views are not necessarily the views of official Spooky staff. So don't go to like PD and asking for condoms and stuff like that, because that would be bad. We're just longtime attendees, and we know the ropes because we've been so many times. So take what we say as such. Okay, and for those of you watching us live, as a reminder, there is the Q&A. I keep forgetting the direction. Over here, you'll see the little grid icon up here. When you click that, it'll say Q&A. Oh, wow, I'm getting feedback, aren't I?
You sound fine to me. Okay.
So, whatever, feedback. So yeah, if you go over here, there's a little icon up here. If you click the little grid icon, get the Q&A app, and you can go ahead and ask questions. So, and I don't know if anyone's even watching so far. So far, no questions. So, okay. So
right.
while we...
Is Mike coming or what?
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, did you message him on Facebook?
Oh, I don't have Facebook open. You can message him.
I don't have it open either.
Oh, I hope he's not trying to message us right now, because that would be kind of awkward.
I know he was on there earlier. Let's see.
Okay. Well, while he's doing that, I feel like a radio morning DJ. Okay.
They're none of my... Okay, go ahead.
Okay. But right down here, I'm going to put the link to the playlist for all the other videos. There's like 5 in the series now. We've gone over everything from where it is to why you should get a ticket for the full weekend. We go over parking. We go over stuff in the area. We've gone over just about everything. There's 2 episodes on costuming, in case you missed that. I'm also going to put the link down here. Actually, you know what? I'll put it up here. Oh, there we go. I'll put it up here. The last video I did, I put together a quick map, I guess is the best way to put it,
of
where.
Really cool.
Yeah, it took me 3 days to do, actually.
That took you a while, right? That was like...
It did. I had to watch... I had to watch all the episodes again and make notations on where you could find specific information, because there is hours and hours of video. And while it's very fun to watch it all, because this guy's funny as fuck, if you don't watch for this guy right here, the makeover with the cake. I'll just say that. So,
cake?
Cake. Yes, I got distracted. Cake. Which, actually, you know what? If give me a second. I want to pull up one of the things I wanted to show, because we did talk about the VIP party, and one of the things we talked about is at the VIP party, Eric Woller, who is with Cake Boss, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, he is designing a cake. I'm not sure what he's doing this year, but I have a couple pictures of the cakes he's done in the past. Oops, and sure enough, they're not going to come up now.
Was it always him doing the cakes?
I want to say yes. Actually, it's going to take me a second to come up with this.
Yeah, there's been some really cool ones.
Yeah, there's the Evil Dead cake, which was really amazing, and Bruce Campbell was actually at that one. And Yeah, it's going to take me a second.
Oh, Mike just messaged. Oh, you probably see it.
Oh, yeah. All right. Have him hang on a second. Let's see. Here's a good picture. Hang on. Let me do the screen share just for this one picture here, just to give you guys an idea. I don't think they have the full-size picture here, do they? Okay. I am totally not prepared tonight. Screen share. Okay. This one right here. Look at that.
Oh, cool. That was the one they had just for the VIP, I think.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think the cakes they do just for VIP.
Yeah, well,
Like
they used to in the past. They used to just have it out. Like they had a Freddy and Nightmare on Elm Street cake.
Yeah, and actually he did that cake. And hang on a second, let me look that up.
And then they had a really cool for the film festival. They had one of those cakes with the
Oh,
clowns.
they did?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally missed that one.
That was way back. That was probably like 08 or 09 or something.
Okay, I'm trying to find, let's see, where is, okay, here's the picture of this one. Hang on, it's not necessarily a huge one, but just to give you an idea of, like I said, and it'll be really exciting to see what he comes up with this year. Where is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, and that one right there.
Yeah.
The detail on that one was absolutely amazing. You know, they had the TV with the Spooky Empire and the blood coming out of it, and you see the blood coming out of the bed right here, you know, much to the first one. Yeah,
it's
the
details. Boiler, right?
The boiler, yeah, and you got PD down there, and yep. And he really did an amazing job. So it'll be really exciting to see what he comes up with this year for this. So like I said, VIP, you get cake. You get free alcohol, and you get awesome cake. Kind of jumped around on the format there. Actually, while I try to get him in, you know what? I did want to mention that it is kid-friendly. Because I know we've been talking a lot about, you know, how, you know, it's a drinking con and it's a party con. And it is a party con. However, oh God, I'm like doing like three things at once here. It is a party con. However, that usually is, and Mike has said this, at night, blocked people. Why is it? It says no blocked people.
Can you just send them another invite?
I will try to send him another invite, but it says no blocked people.
Yeah, it's not like with Robbie last time, is it?
I don't think so, because I didn't kick him out. So all right, you know what? Let me try this again. All right, so
video call.
Okay, let's try that. All right. Anyway, yes, it is a kid-friendly con. It is on Halloween, and I did mention this before, but I wanted to reiterate that they are going to have 2 kids costume contests, I believe. They're going to have a kids zone because it's Halloween. It is going to be family friendly, so you know, don't bring the kids. It's not going to be just complete like Roman orgy or weekend, despite what we make it sound like. It's like I said, that usually, honestly, that is after dark. You don't see like drunk people much running around during the day.
No. Much. They're usually sleeping.
They are, and and Boris is absolutely right. You'll see them, you know, hung over. It's like, oh yeah, Johnny, there's a zombie. They're not letting me in. Oh God, I don't know what to do, Mike. I don't know how to. Yeah, you're not blocked.
He's in the hangout. He's just not on the video.
Oh boy, yeah. Google. This is your fault. Skynet. This is all about Skynet. All right. I will try to carry on regardless. Okay, right. Let's see. We've gone through, let's see, the link to the video on the playlist. It's kid-friendly, about the drinking and partying. The first thing I wanted to mention, spooky can easily be overwhelming. You know, you can get social anxiety because, I mean, like, you know, wait, if I can click over. See, look at that face right there. If that doesn't give you social anxiety, I don't know what does.
Me?
I'm kidding. Okay. Let me try inviting Mike one more time here. But social anxiety, yes, it is a very real thing, and I know there's a lot of us that aren't big fans of crowds. You know, Boris and I mean, at night, many a time have kind of like scurried over to a corner because there's too much going on, and it's like sensory
Yeah, I mean,
overload.
at this point, I know so many people there that it's not as bad, but when I first started coming, it was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah. So, I mean, what were some of the things that you did, to handle that overwhelming factor?
I don't know.
Oh, nothing you can mention on legal air. Okay, well,
You got them at the ready.
all right, let me try Mike one more time. I don't know why it's not letting him in. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Mike, this is pissing me off. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm trying. However, social anxiety. There are a number of things that you can do. This hotel is very, very big, first of all. There are multiple levels. There's like 4 different levels. So one of the things I like to do, especially in a hotel like this where it has an atrium-ish kind of feel, you can go to an upper level and you can just people watch over the balcony. That's a lot of fun. So you're still a part of things, but you're not necessarily, removed from the action. That's a lot of fun. You can always retire to your hotel room for a few minutes. And I know a lot of people don't really want to hang out in the hotel room when there's a lot going on. But one thing to remember, there is spooky TV. They do have spooky TV in the hotel rooms. So they replay stuff from parties past. They replay interviews. They replay panels. They'll live stream some of the events, I'm sure. So if you need to take a break to go back to the hotel room, keep in mind that there is spooky TV there. So you're still a part of the action.
This year?
Yes, they are going to have spooky TV this year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the surprising things.
Fun.
Yeah, spooky TV.
Yeah, they show some cool stuff on there that usually, like, if you don't get to see all the panels, sometimes you can see a panel there that you missed. And and it's not always like, is it usually always stuff from past cons? It's never like from like the day before or something?
I think they do live streaming, and I know that they've people have told me they've seen my mug running around at night, like on the day after. So
yeah,
so, it's that's the whole thing. I mean, there's going to be a lot of great things on spooky TV. One of the other things to keep in mind is that you can always duck into a panel. The thing with spooky is there's a lot of events going on. So if you need to get away from the crowd, very often, and we'll get into this in a little bit, like the film festival. The film festival is going on constantly, so you could duck into a film.
Actually, you know about that? I don't think it is. Because at least not the usual film festival.
No, there is something a little different going on.
Yeah, because the one that they usually do is actually an separate thing now. It's going to be at the Wyndham like a few weeks before Spooky.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up. It's called Freak Show Film Festival.
Oh, that makes sense then.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not. I think now it's going to be
new.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a short film, like shorts, like horror shorts. I think, I don't know.
Yeah. That's I have a few notes on that, and once we get into there was something I wanted to touch on some of the events later in this show. But that's one of the things. I mean, it wasn't Freak Show, so no, it's not the film festival from the past. They do have something new going this year, which I'm going to get into. But the point was social anxiety. You can always duck into a panel. You can duck into one of the demos or the Q&As. There's so much going on that you can easily duck into something and hide out in the back and just gather yourself together.
Yeah,
that's something else to consider. One of the best tips that I found, and where did I can't remember where I found it. Was on a forum somewhere. And you guys are going to laugh at me, but bubbles. It's because a lot of times when you have panic attacks or anxiety attacks, you have trouble breathing and you have trouble regulating, your system. If you think about it, bubbles, I mean, it regulates your breathing because you're, and the shape of the bubbles gives you something to focus on that gets all the other extra stimuli out. And so sitting there and, sitting on the second floor or whatever, blowing bubbles, who doesn't love that? And no, we're not getting into the whole blowing bubbles. That's a whole other conversation.
Well, you went there.
Come on, it was the elephant in the room.
I didn't even think about that.
Okay, so I'm the dirty one. Okay. Wait.
I think I'm just too tired.
But yeah, but actually, just go and get a thing of bubbles. You know,
Yeah.
I've actually done that like with the pool parties and stuff. And there isn't necessarily a pool party this year, but there'll be people partying around the pool.
There should be. Really?
It's rules with the hotel, and this is an upscale hotel,
Oh, I
so
didn't know about that.
yeah, there isn't actually
Yeah.
going to be a sanctioned pool party. I mean, you guys can party at the
That
pool.
sucks. So they're not gonna
Uh,
have like a DJ at the pool.
I'm sure they'll have like a DJ and events like that, but it just won't be at the pool. It'll be inside.
Okay, gotcha. Kind of like how it was at the one of the other hotels.
Yeah, I know. I get them confused too. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it's the thing. If you're prone to social anxiety, go get a thing of bubbles. I mean, it surprisingly. I mean, I did it at Dragon Con, and it calmed me right down. You know, like I
Hmm.
said, it centers your attention, it centers your breath, brings everything down to normal. So that's a little trick that
Yeah.
I picked up.
You can get a cool Halloween themed one.
Yeah, you can get the glow in the
Yeah.
dark ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So and then that's something to consider, you know, with your packing. Um, and I wish I could bring Mike in here. I can't figure out what the hell I'm doing.
Hmm.
Phobias. This is something that I actually decided to talk about right before the broadcast because I have a friend of mine that has a phobia of clowns. Now, it's a pretty common phobia. There are certain phobias that if you have these phobias, you might want to be aware if you're coming to Spooky. For example, like clowns. Spooky is a very clown-heavy convention. So,
Sometimes.
yeah, I mean, and so if you've got a phobia of clowns, you might just want to keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Very,
There's some. I mean, when I had my clown costume one year, and this one guy like went off on me, pretty
it,
much. Like,
yeah, it happens. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know
Okay.
if he had a phobia or if he was just really drunk, but it was awkward.
It could have been a bit of both.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, but no. In all seriousness, if you have a phobia of snakes, there are a few people that actually bring their pet snakes. So if you've got a
Yeah.
thing with snakes, you might want to keep that in mind. I mean, of course, what other phobias do you think if a common phobia that somebody has?
Hmm. Uh, I don't even know because usually the spooky crowd isn't as bad as like other places.
Well,
Um,
no, it isn't. It's well, I mean, like somebody actually had,
it's,
and this was stupid on their part. What?
I'm just trying to think what else. I mean, like you said, spiders.
Spiders. I
Uh,
don't see them a lot at Spooky, but that is something if you are arachnophobe, you might want to keep in mind that it is a possibility. So something to keep in mind. Um, but the reasons I want to bring it up is number one, if you have a phobia, keep in mind that it's a possibility you could run into some of these triggers. And two, if you notice that someone has a phobia, and this is a big one, if you notice that someone has a phobia, don't mess with somebody's phobia. You know, if
yeah.
someone's just scared of something, I mean, that's one thing. If you get Jason chasing around some sorority chick, okay, yeah, haha, that's all funny, and you want to scare the sorority chick, that's great. If someone has a general phobia, don't mess with it. Because that's the whole thing. Bad things could happen. I mean, I've known of people literally to go into cardiac arrest because someone was messing with their phobia and wouldn't stop.
Hmm.
You know, I've seen people have absolute meltdowns. You know, I mean, and not in the good way. I mean, absolute meltdowns. So, I mean, if you notice, scaring somebody is one thing, but if they're legitimately have like absolute terror on their face, don't mess with that. That's not a good idea. And I mean, if God forbid something happens, they end up in the hospital, you could be liable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, it's all fun and games until somebody ends up in the ER. You know, so it's. But those are a
It's
couple things I
happened.
wanted to. It is. It's happened more than
Yeah.
once. So you know, something to keep in mind. Like I said, if you have a phobia, know your limits. If you're around someone, like I said, if you're dressing as a clown and someone is like, you know, crying, terrified, back off.
Yeah.
You know, just it's better to back off, or like I said, you could end up with a lawsuit and end up getting arrested.
Hmm.
So it's not unheard of. Or you, like I said, and I've known people to actually be approached by security and get like kicked out of the con that way. So
Yeah, me too. Not for phobias, but in general.
Yeah, that's know your
Yeah.
limits. I mean, a little fun scare is one thing, but like I said, it's okay. Just no, play it cool. Play it cool. Don't be a douche. Let's see. Oh, and another thing I wanted to bring up. And I know I keep going back about the whole layering thing. Stupid thing keeps coming off. But the whole layering thing. I got some things because I wanted to show you guys to give you an idea. The thing with layering is it's not just a matter of layering one thing after another. I wanted to explain it a bit more. And not so much just to smell good, but to keep smelling good throughout the day. Because, you know, I understand. I mean, if you can put deodorant on and wash in the morning, but by 6 o'clock you smell like swamp ass. You know, there are ways to avoid that.
Layering.
Yeah, Mike's trying to video call, and it doesn't work. That doesn't work, Mike. I'm sorry. Keeps trying to call. Uh-oh. All right. So, how do I close that? Mike, sorry, I don't know. You're not blocked. I don't know how to turn that off.
Let's see, maybe.
Sorry, you guys. Okay. Wow. Okay. All right. Now, see, I personally use shower gel, and this is a female thing. You know, for guys, you can use whatever soap you want. You know, Zestfully Clean, Irish Spring. I don't give a fuck. I use shower gel. The thing is, you want to keep, and I read about this earlier, which is why I wanted to bring it up. The scents, like say, if you've got like a lime soap, you don't want to add a contrasting scent over that because it's not gonna. The scents have to mix well. You know, you don't want to put. I don't know what doesn't go good with lime.
I don't know. You're the scent expert.
Okay, all right. Let me take this one. Okay, but basically this is what I do. So, and like I said, just complementary scents. You know, if you're doing rose, coconut doesn't smell good with rose. You know what I mean? Okay. So yeah, like I said, so then there's the shower gel.
Do you actually layer like different scents at the same time?
You can. I mean, like if say coconut and oh god, I don't know what goes well with coconut. Something citrusy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like cinnamon and vanilla. Yeah, there you go. Or tropical. Cinnamon and vanilla. Yeah. Keep it in the same family. I mean, like I said, there's the shower gel or like, you know, brown sugar and vanilla. Love this stuff. And then I always moisturize because, you know, moisturizing. So, but I mean, Dark Kiss, Bath and Body Works, which is discontinued, but they have male scents as well. Then deodorant, of course, and then, you know, whatever spritz of, you know, body spray. And I'm not talking the stuff in the dollar store. So no Axe, no Axe, no Axe. Because you see the shape of this? This will fit in a very uncomfortable place if you use Axe, okay? And then you guys have seen me mention the silky underwear, the dusting powder from Lush. And it comes in many, many different scents. There's the vanilla, there's jasmine. So it's like, you know, and this stuff is great to help you sleep at night. If you put it on the sheets at night, helps you sleep at night. So, like I said, it's just a matter of like showering and deodorant and then putting on, you know, like moisturizing lotion or whatever, quick spritz or whatever. But that's the whole thing. Just keep the scents complementary so it's not an overload and you don't smell like a cheap whore. Now, if you want to smell like a cheap whore, that's a whole nother conversation. Oh, God, Mike, I don't know how to get you in.
Let's see.
Oh, boy. Art form to it, and it's a little trial and error, but like I said, it's don't smell, just don't smell. Okay, switching topics, the hotel booking code. I've been asked about this a couple of times. It is now when you called, Boris, I mean, did you give them Ultimate Halloween Weekend or did you give them Spooky Empire?
I think I said Spooky Empire, but usually they know. I don't even know if I mentioned that. I think I just asked about the convention rate, and I think we're the only convention going on.
Really?
At the hotel, probably.
Okay.
I
Oh,
may have
I
said
was unaware of
spooky.
that.
I'm sure if you say either thing, though, just ask for the rate, and then they'll tell you what the rate is.
Yeah, and the rate was 119, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Is that right?
before all the other charges.
Which, you
Oh,
know,
you're
it
saying
is
that
what it
you're
is.
saying they're gonna waive one of them or something? I don't know.
Wait,
Someone said that maybe that the resort charge they're not gonna charge a resort charge or something.
really? Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know.
That's news to me.
I just saw there was like a bunch of additional stuff when I actually saw the final bill.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that, but yeah, 119. I mean, 119 is a good price for the hotel, just FYI.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it used to be 99. A lot of people are balking at the price, but once you see this hotel, you'll see where the money went. No, it's absolutely worth it. But yeah, either mention Spooky Empire or Ultimate Halloween Weekend to get the 119 rate. Otherwise, they're just going to charge you regular price.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's one, and I know Boris and I talked about this earlier, but I wanted to get a little more specific. We're going to do a convention packing guide in one of the next episodes. We're going to dedicate a whole episode to that. We've already gone over the best stuff to pack as far as costuming. Now I want to get into the best foods to pack. Boris, what do you pack normally, and why?
Well, obviously there's no kitchen, so you can't really bring anything unless you bring like a George Foreman or something, or
which is people have done. I have actually brought a waffle maker. I brought a waffle maker multiple times. You know, so you can bring something portable like that. So if you want to do that, you can do that. But
usually like deli meats are really good. So stuff to make sandwiches, like protein bars, granola bars, trail mix. So stuff you can get, stuff for like quick energy.
And that's something to really stress there, is because you want to keep your energy up. You know, if you're just going to have sugary snacks, you're going to crash real quick, and you're going to get unhealthy real quick.
Yeah, you'll have a ton of energy until like 7 o'clock, and then you'll
at least until dinner time. Yeah,
and then you'll miss all the stuff going on at night, which I've done before.
I know, and I have too, and that's one of the good things about it. If you have these particular snacks that he's talking about, like granola, trail mix, Special K bars, Luna bars, or something, I always bring. Like I said, if you snack on those during the day, now what I suggest, Cliff bars are fantastic. Now, when you get up in the morning, I always suggest having a decent breakfast, whether it's yogurt. I always have bananas or fruit. If you have that in the morning, you've got to have breakfast. Do not skip breakfast. You know, I know they always joke about it being the most important meal of the day, but this is especially at a con.
And it's cool because the con stuff usually doesn't start till like 10 or 11.
Exactly. So you know, so unless you're volunteering, Yeah,
so you have time to have breakfast, and you can even sleep in a little.
Exactly. I love having breakfast in bed. You know, that's I wake up, I have some yogurt and, you know, orange juice or whatever. They do have mini fridges in the hotel, so you can. Yeah, they do. So keep that in mind. The ones I have listed, you know, you have bananas, oranges, apples, dried fruit is really good. Of course, you want to bring your water. I personally like, instead of just plain water, I like the Propel Zero water. I mean, of course, your mileage may vary, whether it's vitamin water, whatever works for you. Gatorade is also really good. Let's see. Oh, one of the things I absolutely recommend. There's 3 things I recommend, especially if some of us have, you know, sometimes we have GI issues, whether it's the food in the hotel or stress or whatever. There's 3 things. Applesauce always helps settle your stomach.
Oh, really?
Applesauce is, oh yeah. Because, well, anytime that you've gotten sick, if like, let's say you go to, I don't know, one of the restaurants, you go to Denny's and, you know, some of the food makes you sick, they always say the brat diet. It's like bread, oh God, what is it? Bread, rice, applesauce, and toast, I want to say. Something like that. Yeah, they call it the brat diet. So that's supposed to help, you know, settle your stomach. So applesauce is something I always recommend. So applesauce is a good one. And this I found is a great, and this works great for hangovers, good quality jerky, whether it's beef jerky. Oh yeah, between the salt soaks up the alcohol, and then you've got the protein aspect of whether it's venison, turkey, beef jerky, etc. I found that stuff, you know, helps hangovers immensely. So that one, and the third one I suggest, and because we have coffee makers in the room, you can boil water. So keep that in mind, because because you can boil water in the coffee pots. I've known a number of people to bring ramen or a couple of noodle soup, things like that. That's not my thing. I like to.
I didn't think about that. You can boil water.
You can boil water in there. Exactly.
Because I was gonna make my Jello shots, but then I was coming on Thursday, so maybe I'll make them there.
Ah, see, you get a little mad scientist.
Yeah, instead of having to make them like on Wednesday or something.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, so you can boil water. Then now, what I like to bring teas. Whether it's, especially if you have stomach issues, peppermint or ginger tea is always fantastic. If you've got problems helping to sleep at night, chamomile. So that helps promote sleep. So like I said, if you want, particular teas that you like, you can boil water and have tea as well if coffee isn't your thing. Plus, and this is always good, tea will help save your voice. And this is something, the Packing Guide we'll get into next episode or whenever. But if you're drinking tea, that will help save your voice because you're going to be talking and yelling and screaming all weekend. And I know Boris has gone through this too, where it's like by Sunday, nobody can talk. You lose your voice.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
very, very common. Okay, what else did I have here? Let's see, the instant noodles. Oh yeah, and then this shouldn't have to be said, but if you're an amateur at drinking, you'll probably know this, or probably not know this. Eat before you go out drinking. Don't drink on an empty stomach. That's how you end up like throwing up and getting everybody mad at us because amateur drinkers.
Noobs.
This is important business. We have to educate the noobs. Oh man. But yeah, you want to have these. The purpose of the snacks is to A, keep up your energy, B, keep you hydrated, and you want to avoid hydration, and you want to keep your immune system up. So like I said, teas help that. The Cliff Bars, etc. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to bring up, two things I wanted to bring up. The Crystal Light energy packs. I don't have it here, but a lot of times they have. I think like Crystal Light has like the little packets that you put into water bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know Crystal Light has them. A lot of companies have them where you can put like extra vitamin C or whatever in your water. So that's something to consider.
Kind of like airborne, but
kind of like airborne, but some have ginseng in them. Some have things like that.
Oh, the emergency.
Yeah, emergency is good.
Like a C, yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, and this is something that I probably shouldn't be eating, but I love them way too much not to, Uncrustables. Oh, man. You don't know about Uncrustables?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. Okay, they're like little peanut butter and jelly, like pita pockets.
Oh,
they're just like little... like little round frozen
like
sandwiches.
Hot Pockets, but the small ones, or no?
Kinda. They're just like little round pockets of bread. They're frozen, and it's just like peanut butter and jelly. So it's just like little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and you can get them at Publix, Winn-Dixie. They're in the frozen section. Nice. So you can carry them around all day, and something like peanut butter and jelly doesn't matter if it's warm; it's still good.
That works.
Yeah. So and that's peanut butter. You can bring baby carrots and dip carrots in the peanut butter. That stuff's really good if you're health nut. It's not my thing, but.
Yeah, but I'm more into the almond butter.
Oh, that sounds
the same
good.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Some people have peanut allergies, so almond butter.
Chex Mix, good one as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was, and I don't know how to get Mike back in here, because one of the topics he wanted to bring up was to drink or not to drink. Which is actually a pretty good topic. Now, of course, if you want to drink, that's entirely up to you. I don't recommend it if you are under 21. Of course, we're not encouraging that. I prefer to have a drink or two, and that's it. Only because I like to watch the drunk people. And there's, I want to say it was The Wedding Singer. Adam Sandler had a line. Drunk equals puke equals smelly mess equals nobody likes you. And I've always loved that quote. So it's like, I don't ever want to be that person. Some people are fun drunks, you know, so this doesn't apply to everybody. I don't think I've ever seen you drunk.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I never get like sick drunk, but I don't know. Maybe when I don't know. I'm pretty drunk. Just I think we've been at different parts of the con or something. We've never crossed paths.
You've been a stealthy drunk. Okay.
Yes, could have been interesting.
Okay, but it's you know, if you get drunk, know what kind of drunk that you are. Make sure you have friends, because I mean, especially if you're an angry drunk, and I know some people can be very violent drunks, you might want to temper yourself when you're around other drunks.
Yeah, you don't want we don't want any angry drunks over there.
No,
it's a fun, friendly atmosphere.
Yeah, and everybody loves each other, and we've seen what happens with angry drunks, and bad things happen, and you're going to get thrown out, and it's going to get ugly. But know what kind of drunk you are.
Mike's in the Q&A thing.
Oh, is he? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, so Mike, if you have something to add, yeah, I'm here. Okay. I don't know how to bring him in. All right, so Mike, if you have something that you want to say about you know, drinking versus not drinking, I mean, I know you're going to bring up know your limits, you know, and I know that's tough for a lot of people because everyone just wants to party, get drunk, which in theory is great, but consider the pros versus the cons. How many people actually like being around someone that's drunk? Your friends really don't want to babysit you when you're drunk. Who likes babysitting? Let's be honest. You may be having a good time, but you have to remember what you are when you're drunk and what people see you as when you're drunk are two totally different things. So that's my thing, but I'm also like a self-control freak, so I don't like being drunk. I just don't like the way it feels. But I mean, what are your thoughts on like drunk versus not drunk?
What do you mean?
I know I'm way too vague. Do you prefer to get a nice buzz, or do you like to just let your hair down, so to speak, or?
I try. It's like, how much do I want to reveal? No, I mean, I stay in control. I never get like, because I still want to enjoy myself, so I don't want to get sick. So I know how to limit myself. But I mean, I've gotten to the point where I've been pretty tipsy.
Yeah. Okay, so it's just a matter of know your limits.
As long as you know your limits and you're not like ruining it for other people, and you're not.
I think that's the biggest point. And when you're drunk, you're not really aware of how you affect other people around you. So that's something to consider. Let's see. There's the drinking versus not drinking. Oh yes, here's one I wanted to get into. Tips for out of towners. For example, I have a friend coming in from Texas for this, and we know that there are a lot of people that fly in from the UK. There's people literally that come all over the world for this.
Yeah.
So one of the big things, I did look up information on how to get to the hotel from the airport. It is just under 10 miles, so that's something to keep in mind. If you have a friend who is in town that can pick you up, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of friends, you know, like I said, Spooky's a big family. If you've got someone that goes, they may be more than happy to recommend coming in Thursday night as opposed to Friday, because more people will be more likely to pick you up Thursday as opposed to Friday. Would you agree with that, Boris?
I would think so, yeah. Oh, you mean for like if you're coming in on Thursday night, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's say if a friend of yours is coming in from out of town, would you be more willing to pick them up Thursday night or Friday?
Well, if you're coming to if you're still coming on Friday to the convention, yeah, I mean Thursday would probably be better, so you don't have to do it while you're trying to get to because you don't want to do it like halfway through the convention. You want to get to the convention earlier.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and Mike just made a comment. Know what you can drink, which is actually a very good point. No, and that's true. Mixing your liquors is not necessarily a good idea. I'm trying to remember what the phrase is. It's like beer before liquor, never sicker. Yeah, beer before liquor, never sicker. Liquor before beer in the clear, I think.
Liquor before beer. No, it's the other way around.
Is it?
Beer before beer. Yeah. You don't want you want the heavy stuff first. So liquor before beer. Yeah, liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Yeah. Okay, see, I don't know this. Okay, I don't. Well, normally when I drink something, I tend to stick with one drink. I mean, yeah. I tend to be a fan of either mead or rum. So, and it's usually
I stick to like the sweet stuff.
Yeah, you and your
cider. No, I just give that to other people. I don't drink that.
See, now we know. Now we know.
And I'm Russian too, so I can handle that stuff.
See, Russian. No, we gotta have that. No, one show he's gonna be doing the Russian accent the whole time, just because.
Totally.
He's gonna talk dirty to us in Russian. But yeah, know what you can drink. Mike is absolutely right. You know, if you're going to be mixing tequila with vodka, know that bad things could easily happen. So, I mean, not only know your limits, but know what you're drinking. And a lot of times it's spooky. Spooky is a very friendly crowd. So very easily, you know, people will come up and offer you things like this guy right here. You know, if you're drinking tequila, yeah, I know. If you're drinking tequila all night, you may want to stay away from absinthe Jello shots. Maybe, depending. Maybe. Yeah, Mike says if you are a beer drinker, don't drink liquor. And no, he's right. I mean, I personally say stay. I used to be a bartender, so I've seen a lot of very, very bad drunk stuff. So, yeah. So if you are a beer drinker, don't drink liquor. Yeah, so if you're with beer, stay with beer most of the night. Yeah, and Mike loves absinthe. So yeah, Mike is going to be partaking of your absinthe Jello shots. I don't, because I'm terrified of them. I fully admit that right up front.
Exaggerated. They're not that bad. they're watered down.
Famous last words. No, see, I say that, next thing I'm going to be like standing on a table, you know, singing Coco Cabana or something. You know? But yeah, so that's something good to remember as well. So as far as drinking, that's the suggestions we give. Yeah, but Mike absolutely does say Thursday is probably a better day if you're coming in from out of town. There are some spooky sanction events, and I'm not sure what they are, but they are spooky sanction events going on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means bands playing, or I'm not sure what they're doing.
Usually they do just like meetups, but are they actually having like a real like live music and stuff?
Yeah, I have it on good authority that they're going to be spooky sanction events, but I'm not necessarily sure exactly what that means. And Mike said, yeah, Mike says, I have a drink that will wake you up. Oh, that does not sound good. I know Mike has a thing with Red Bull, and so I'm not doing any Red Bull and Jaeger. That's a dangerous drink. So no, but I know Mike is a master mixologist as well. He comes up with some very interesting concoctions. Yeah, no, I'll probably bring in the mead that Spain did. Which, oh, you know what? I'm not going to do it now, but I actually have a mead named after me.
Oh yeah.
That Spain did. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, I had it at the Renfest actually.
Yeah. You let me try something.
Oh gosh, his stuff is so good.
Is it just called Dementia?
Yeah, it's called Dementia. It was based on there was an old recipe in the Lithuanian communities in Baltimore. This is where we get into story time. I tried it at Dragon Con years ago. It's basically the equivalent of moonshine, but in Lithuanian cultures, and it's very. They only make it once a year, and there's like a whole big story behind it. It's taken me years and years to track down a decent recipe. So Svein, being from Iceland and being Viking, you know, he figured, okay, I'm gonna do that. Hot pepper drink. Nice. No, Mike just said no, the hot pepper drink. I don't want to try any hot pepper drink. Okay, so now y'all know Mike's face. So if you want to try a hot pepper drink, That's all you.
I don't want to try anything hot pepper in general.
No, the last time Mo actually, and I think it was it at Mayhem? It might have been in Mayhem. He had me drink, oh my God, Jameson and pickle juice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes on and on about these, I think he calls them picklebacks. Weirdest thing ever. But yeah,
That's
so Mo will
random.
try to be. It was bizarre. It was very bizarre. It wasn't bad. It was just bizarre. But yeah, if you've got a delicate stomach, you may just want to like forego some of the people offering you drinks. I don't know what kind of hot pepper drink Mike is talking about, and I'm sure he will let us know. But Mike has got some interesting concoctions. If you are the adventurous type, I am not. But yeah, you got Boris with his absinthe Jello shots, and Mo with his picklebacks, and so yeah, you're among friends there.
Yeah, you're gonna be. Sometimes you're walking around and someone will just hand you a shot, and you just gotta be sure you know that person, because.
Yeah, exactly. Be sure you know that person. I mean, 9 times out of 10, if you know them, it's not going to be a problem. There were shots that we had. That Robbie had them. What were they? They were like birthday cake.
Yeah,
birthday
like
cake cupcake shots. Like
they were like pudding, yeah.
Yeah, birthday cake pudding something or other. Yeah, Mike's like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, Mike, you have to ask Mo about the picklebacks. It was Jameson and pickle juice, and it's like he's all about these pickleback weird drinks, and I attribute that for putting me in the ER on Sunday at Mayhem, but that's a whole nother conversation. God. Yeah, it really wasn't, but I like giving them the guilt trip anyway. But anyway, yes, the tips for out-of-town guests. I would personally recommend showing up Thursday if you can. Like I said, it's 9.8 miles. So, transportation costs. There is the MEARS, MEARS, shared shuttle service. One way is $20. Round trip is $36. So that's something you may want to budget in if you need to be picked up from the airport and shuttled in. The taxi. Now, I would, if you can get the shuttle service, like I said, it's MEARS. I will put the link to MEARS down here. But a taxi estimated cost is $35 to $45. So, like I said, if the shuttle will cost you about $20 or $36 if you go round trip. So, especially if you share it with somebody, that's something to consider. Now, if you are flying into the Sanford airport, and I know some people make the mistake of doing that, Orlando has 2 airports. There is the MCO, which is the Orlando International Airport, and there's the Orlando Sanford Airport. You want to avoid that one. That one's much further east. A taxi from there is $90 to $100. So, and I looked that up. So, the Orlando Sanford Airport. Hopefully, you have not booked your flight out of there. If you have, see if you can change it to MCO, because like taxi will cost you a fortune. I looked up the Uber prices. Now, Boris, have you ever taken Uber for anything?
No, everyone recommends it. I've never tried it.
Yeah,
I heard it's really good.
Yeah,
but they also change their prices depending on like the demand. So.
Yeah, and they have. There's a whole controversy with Lyft, Lyft, which is another service that is an alternative. I found out Lyft does not go to the airport. The airport has banned Lyft, so you can't get Lyft from there. Yeah, it's lyft.com.
Lyft is the one with Lyft is the one with the mustaches, right? With the pink mustaches on the cars.
Possibly. Honestly, I don't know because I've never used them. Yeah,
I know you get Lyft, I think you get like $20 free when you first sign up.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but Lyft apparently the airports tend to ban them for some reason. I'm not really sure why. There's a whole political thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably with the taxis.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like some sort of going in. But yeah, Lyft is not available, so don't look into that. So you have the choice of the MEARS shared shuttle service. And there's Uber. Now, Uber does go to the airport. I did check into that. I'm not sure what the differences are between the services. I will put the link again. Wait. I've got you clicked on here. Let's see. Yes, me. I will put the link down here for Uber. Now, Uber, I've never used it. I do recommend looking up reviews of Uber. There's UberX, which is $14 to $20 from the airport. I'm not sure what the difference is between the 14 and 20. I guess that depends on luggage, maybe, or if you're sharing the service, which is possible. There's Uber XL. Maybe these are the sizes of the cars. I didn't look this up. Uber XL is $28 to $38. And then Uber Select is $37 to $49. I'm not really sure what the difference between the three is, but I will put the link down here to the Uber Orlando, so you can go and look that up and research that yourself. Like I said, there's the Mears and the Uber, and so I would recommend them over taxis personally, but I've just had bad experiences with taxis. Now, granted, I have never taken a taxi in Orlando. Most of the taxis I've taken are in South Florida, so that's a whole nother conversation. But I do hope that does help you. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me do a screen share real quick on this from the official, from the hotel themselves. Hang on a second. Let's see. And like I said, I hope you guys that are coming in from out of town, I hope you take note here. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. The transportation. Let's see. Yeah, here are all the costs here. The airport MCO, Mears, shared shuttle. It's interesting. Okay. But yeah, like I said, the airport from Sanford, you don't want to take the airport from Sanford. Then they have prices from Universal Studios, Walt Disney World, blah, blah, blah. You don't need that. But yeah, it's 9801 International Drive, so if you need an address to give to the taxi driver or whatever. So yeah, if you go to orlando.regency.hyatt.com, there's the information about transportation there. So hopefully that will help you guys. I don't know what else out-of-towners will really need other than transportation. We've already done a quick rundown of what's in the area. There was the image of the map of what's in the area. Basically, when you walk out of the hotel, if you go right, you have better options as far as, I don't want to say upscale food, but not McDonald's food. So if you go right, you're going to get normal-ish kind of food. Main Court, I recommend. I recommend the Cuba, I want to say the Cuba Libre place, which is in Point Orlando. Yeah. If you go out of the hotel and you go left, there'll be your Red Lobster, there'll be your Denny's, your Walgreens is there, as well as McDonald's. So it really depends on you. There's a couple places in the hotel, but those are the most important places to know for out-of-towners. I mean, you have anything to add on that, Boris?
And not as far as like out-of-towner travel.
Okay.
I think you
let's
pretty
see.
much covered it.
Yeah, let's see. That one is closer to the St. Johns River. Oh, okay. I think he's talking about Sanford Airport. Yeah, Sanford Airport is. I'm about like 30 minutes east of where the area is, and yeah, even Sanford is still like another 20 minutes east still. So that's like an hour away. So it's going to be expensive. So like I said, double check your airport and make sure you're flying into MCO and not Orlando Sanford Airport.
Yeah, I didn't even know there were 2 airports in Orlando.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people at MegaCon. There have been friends of mine that have accidentally flown into one, and we've had to go pick them up. Yeah. So there's that. Let's see. Like I said, I'll look into Uber as well. Okay, now here's one. Now, Boris, I know you're more familiar with apps, with phone apps, than I am.
Yeah.
Now, do you have iPhone or do you have Android?
Android.
Android. Okay. I think most people, almost normal people, have Android anyway. I know you mentioned Google Tasks. Is that right?
Yes, I actually have it open right now.
Okay.
Not on the phone though, but on the. But yeah, I mean, I use it on the phone too when I'm not on the computer. Yeah,
Okay.
I use it for like check off lists for pretty much everything.
Okay.
Like I took the notes for this video and I put it in there so I can check every point off.
Okay. Well, what I'm more curious about more than anything else is, like, I know Spooky Empire doesn't have an official app. I know most nowadays Spookies. Yeah. So I mean, what apps would you recommend people using?
One thing I do like maybe a week before Spooky is I use my, like Google Calendar for everything, and I'm sure iPhone has their own version, but I look at the schedule for Spooky, and I copy the events or the things I'm interested in to my calendar.
Okay.
And I set up like notifications so that so I know when everything is, and I can kind of map out my whole day. And
Okay.
a lot of times I kind of skip. I kind of I plan it all out, but then I end up like doing my own thing anyways. But just to have it, it's nice so you can see like what's going on right now that I was interested in checking out. And sometimes there's like 2 or 3 things going on at the same time, so you
Which
gotta
is very
pick.
common.
Yeah, so I put I put the location. I put the location, the time, just any details.
Yeah, I mean, I will be asking Spooky if they're investing in an app. I don't think they're going to be doing that just yet. But I mean, and I've mentioned this before. When you get there, check your program, and the thing is, Spooky will be releasing their schedule on the website. I think like a week or 2 beforehand, so that'll give you enough time to go into something like Google Tasks. And if you guys have recommendations for another app, then by all means, comment below.
Use
I'd love
Google
to hear about other
Tasks.
apps.
I mean, there's other apps I use for like packing lists. There was one called I think it's called Camping List or something like that. It's pretty much the same thing. It lets you set up like lists and then subcategories, so you can have like food, clothes, costumes, and then in each one of those you can have breakdowns, and then each one of them you can click like once you pack it, you can hit a checkbox and it crosses it out. So it's just an easy way to organize.
Okay, and I will be linking those as well over Boris's head. So I'll give him nice little speech bubbles. It gives links to the app, so you guys can check those out in the App Store. Yeah. Okay, Mike is let's see. He said, invest in a trolley pass if you're going to travel anywhere international, and it is well worth it. Now that's actually very true. I've always wanted. Yeah, on International Drive, they do have a trolley that goes up and down. I don't know the schedule. I've never ridden it myself. But I actually pulled up the website while we were talking here. Let me screen share this real quick to give you guys an idea. It's the I-Ride Trolley, and it's iRideTrolley.com, fares and passes. Let's see. Take an I-Ride Trolley is one of the most convenient and least expensive ways to explore the International Drive Resort area. So if your feet are tired, this is something to consider if you don't want to use the pedicabs. I'm a fan of the pedicabs personally, but that's me. I kind of feel like Luke Skywalker going down the Death Star trench in those because they go so fast, but that's a whole nother conversation. Single fare is $2 per ride, so that's something, especially for you budget-conscious people.
Yeah.
Exact change is required. Let's see, but apparently, yeah, a one-day pass is $5 per person. Yeah, so I will also link iRideTrolley.com. Let's see, the one-day pass is $5 per person. 3-day pass is $7 per person. That you can't beat that. 3 days for $7.
That's really good.
Yeah, and this is something. So apparently you purchase these in advance, and you do that on the website. Trolley transfers are free, which you won't need that on International Drive. You're just going like a mile or 2 either way. Trolley transfer are free. Transfers coupon is limited right, but can definitely look into the I-Ride Trolley as well. That's actually a really good tip, Mike. I like that one. So I will as well. Let's see. Okay. Very true. I'm not sure what these, but okay. But yeah, for very budget conscious people, that works very well. Like and I may do that because that's something I haven't done yet. International Drive is very tourist, and I've never ridden the trolley. That might be something to look into.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, and so for apps, if you guys have suggestions for other apps, I mean, maybe that's something we can touch on in a future cast. But I mean, Google Tasks, like Boris said, the Google Calendar as well. That's good for planning, especially when the schedule comes out. Wow, I just looked. 77 days.
How's that?
77. Yeah, until Spooky. 77 days. Wow. Yeah. We got some planning to do, you guys. Okay. The other ones, someone asked me about this for layman photographers. Now, a lot of us are going to be running around with cell phones. There are, oh, Mike says get the 3-day pass. The trolley pass, he said get the 3-day. So that's $7. Boom. Your transportation's taken care of. I don't know what the schedule is like, but the link will be down here. So absolutely check that out. That's a good tip from Mike there. Okay, the Layman photographers. I actually put up, let me, no, go away. I actually made a graphic, and if you actually look in the Showcase app where you guys go to ask questions, you know, or up here, I keep forgetting I'm mirrored over here. If you go up over here and you hit that grid icon, you'll see the Showcase app, and in the Showcase app, you will see links. There's always Spooky Empire, so you can check ticket prices and where to buy your tickets, which we do recommend pre-ordering tickets. There's that, and there's also the link to the tips for layman photographers. These are from professional photographers. I will read these off real quick, but you guys can absolutely go and get the image yourself. Eric Paul from Eric Paul Photo. 1, camera lens should be in a neutral/center position to your subject. Now, most of these are for if you have a camera of your own. There are a couple tips for phone apps, which we'll get to in a second. Camera lens should be in a neutral/center position to your subject, meaning if they are standing up, it should be somewhere around belt to stomach level. If you want to make a person look taller, then bring the camera below that level. So that's something to remember. Richard Cromwell with Images by Cromwell. You can see facebook.com/images by Cromwell. First rule for all photographers is to be polite. Now that's a good one because very often photographers forget to have manners. We all do. But sometimes they tend to forget that they're barking orders at people, and that can be a little intimidating. Secondly, don't be shy. 99% of people cosplaying at cons want to be photographed. And as a costumer, and Boris will back me up on this, yes, we are absolute photo whores. By all means, we want our photos taken. That's why we dress up. Nobody is going to tell you, no, I don't want my photo taken. Well, some of them do, but that's another conversation. Thirdly, remember you're probably mostly shooting indoors in low light. Check your white balance if your camera has those settings. So, and that's one of the things I noticed in what a lot of these photographers mention is they talk about white balance. So that's something you want to keep in mind if you don't want the resolution looking too bright or too grainy, or so check the white balance. Yep. Sid Graves, who is one of everybody's favorite photographers, cemeteryprints.com. Oh, he has amazing photos. Most of all, have fun with it. Make sure your batteries are charged. That's a big one. Everybody forgets that. Make sure your batteries are charged and your CF cards have plenty of room to shoot, or plenty of rolls of film. Does anyone use rolls of film anymore?
Probably not.
You know what? And if they do, God bless them if they do.
The hipsters.
You know what? It's possible. I've seen some of the steampunk photographers that actually have old school, you know, the old 20s looking kind of cameras, and they're gorgeous. Yeah. And so, okay, old, but still. Yeah. So have plenty of rolls of film, or make sure that you have memory cards with enough room to shoot. Yeah. Nathan Carter, and I've shot with Nathan. I need to shoot with him again. Amazing photographer. Victor Voyer is his Facebook page. Number 1 tip, be polite. And apparently this is a big one because I guess there's a lot of photographers that aren't very polite. So be polite. Tip number 2, look for good light. For example, if you're not using the off-camera flash, find a big window and put it behind you so the subject is facing you and the window. I mean, and that's the whole thing. Everybody is taking pictures all weekend long. So if you just remember a couple of these tips to increase the quality of your pictures, not only will you get more attention to the photos, you'll be prouder of your work. You know, even as a layman photographer. Okay, we've got David Dickey Jr., who, and I've always picked on him for the name DP Dickey, which is a whole nother conversation. Kid-friendly show. He says, as stated before, be polite. Again, like I said, a lot of these photographers really stress being polite. Use the prime lens and shoot in RAW. White balance is important, and RAW files give you the latitude to make sense of it after the fact if it's not consistent. I know, are you yawning?
Yeah.
No yawning.
I'm sleepy.
Sleepy. You'll sleep when you're dead. Okay, but I do know a lot of photographers absolutely recommend shooting in RAW, so that gives you more control of the images afterwards. Okay, Jim Dunn. Jim Dunn, oh, absolute sweet, sweet man. Jim.Dunn.940 on Facebook. Again, always be polite. God, they really do stress this being polite. Are that many photographers just that rude? Okay. Yeah, I've never really run into any.
Mostly just the people, not like the professional photographers.
That's true. Oh, and maybe that is, the professional photographers as opposed to, other people. Okay, most con goers want their picture taken, but not all. If someone says no, honor their wishes. And that goes back to, and Boris, you said this, sometimes when you're just sitting down with your mask off trying to eat a cheeseburger.
Yeah, it's more about when do you want it taken. Like, everyone wants it taken just at the right time, not when you're about to go to the bathroom or talking to someone.
Yeah, don't take a picture of someone at the urinal, Now, it could be a funny photo, but ask beforehand. Just always ask. Next, pay attention to your light. Apparently, paying attention to your light is a big one.
One thing that's funny is whenever I'm like at a club or somewhere where it's dark and people want to take selfies with me, like using the front-facing camera that doesn't have a flash.
Yeah,
and then they're surprised they're surprised when the picture is just a black screen.
Yeah, I think that's a habit that it's just hard for a lot of people to get into. I know that I'm no photographer by any means, but I always forget to pay attention to the light. This is the #1 rule for all photography, but at cons you may have light and dark costumes together. Make sure the darker costume is closer to your light, especially if you're using a flash. Most important happen. That's actually a really good tip. But I suppose if you're paying attention to the light in all of it, I think that takes care of like 99% of the problems. Svein Kjartensen with Svein Photography. Oh, and I spelled it wrong. It's Svein Photography, not Sven Photography. Sorry about that, Svein. Tips. Don't be an ego dick. This tells you what kind of person Svein is right off the get-go. Don't be an ego dick. We like that. Beginner tips. Use a lens that has a low number aperture and shoot 2.8 or lower if you can, and don't fear to use high ISO. Just get a good shot that isolates the subject from the surroundings. Now, those personally are some of my favorite shots. Is not just where it doesn't just show, someone in a hallway. If you've got good depth of field and you actually isolate the character, I think it looks better, but that's just me. Let's see. Pro tip, use external speed light and high-speed sync for faster shutter to darken out the background to make the costumer pop out, which is actually a really good one. I know Nathan Carter does that a lot. He does some amazing photos. You can also use ND filters to stop down the camera if shooting low aperture. That's really good to know. Like I said, I don't know much about the cameras, but I mean, Svein's work, if you go to sveinsphotography.com, speaks for itself. And again, like I said, if you go to the Showcase app, you can actually download this image and remember some of these tips yourself. Nicholas Cardello with the Cardello Photo. Memory is cheap now, so buy a larger card as your camera will accommodate. Conventional wisdom is to fill your frame with your subject, but I tend to shoot wide to give myself space around the subject to crop the photo several different ways post-production. It also works well if the cosplayer likes your photo and wants to add a cool background, which there are some, digital artists that like to do that sort of thing. Very, very interesting stuff. You have more latitude to be creative with the photo. If you shoot just the face, you just have the face. #2, just because you plan on just posting on the web, don't set the quality of the photo too low. You will not be able to get a decent print if you decide to do so. Make sure the camera is set at 300 dpi for print quality. These images will be larger and take up more space on a memory card. That's why you need a larger card. Have backup cards in the event one goes bad or you fill it up. That's true. Always have a backup plan. P.S. If you're plan on doing just cell phone shot, any apps you are not planning on using that weekend to create more memory. Oh yeah, delete any apps you're not planning on using that weekend to create more memory on your phone. Transfer your existing. Oh wait. Oh. As I just made it just like super, super huge. Let's see. Also transfer your existing space. And yeah, you can always add both back after the event. So yeah, it is a high image, high quality image. So like I said, if you go over to the Showcase app, you can download that image on your own. Those for the person that asked me about Layman photography, I hope those absolutely help. The photographers in question, if you go to their websites, they're more than happy to answer any questions that you need to help you get great photos. Okay. And speaking of which, now Boris, you can chime in on this one. Photographing etiquette, and like you said, one of the things, and one of the biggest ones is if someone's taking a piss or eating a cheeseburger.
Yeah, or just talking to some, yeah, or doesn't have like their costume on. Just wait. You don't have to be like all forceful and be like, because you just want to get that shot and move on. Like you got to treat them as a person. Some people are like just don't care at all. They're
Oh yeah,
like, yeah, they're all entitled, thinking that like some of them, I guess, think you work for the convention or something, because they're just like, I've been like, I had my costume halfway off, just sitting down, and there's people standing there, and they're like, "Put it on, I want to get a picture."
And they do, and I mean, I've had, for example, my Baroness outfit, you know, when I was at MegaCon, and I've had half the armor off, and it takes me a good 20 minutes to get into the armor. Now, I've been accommodating because I love my photo taken. I'm absolute attention whore, so I'll do it. But it's just a matter of, and again, and that comes back to being polite, like the photographer said. If you ask us, 9 times out of 10, we'll go out of our way for you. Sure.
Yeah, just usually I don't mind. It's always at the time, because it takes me like an hour, because I'm usually like wearing that big armor. I'm hot, dehydrated. I'm slowly making my way to like a water fountain on the side of the room, and when I finally make it there, that's when they usually come up.
Everybody wants a picture of the Daedric just drinking from a water fountain.
Well, no, they want me back in costume and in character, so they're like,
"Oh man,
I'm just trying to drink some water and take like a 5-minute break."
So, but that's something to keep in mind. Remember that we're people, and you know, 9 times out of 10, if you ask us, we'll be more than willing to accommodate you. And really, all the photographer etiquette comes down to is just ask. And me personally, being a woman, and I know I'm going to run into this with my costumes, because the bunny, you know, the bunny's got the girls out, you know, and a lot of people, they want to handle the chainsaw, they want to put their arm around me, and you don't know if a customer has personal space issues like I do, or you know, Boris, he's got very delicate armor. If you want to put your arm around us, just ask. You know, we'll likely say yes, just ask.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, Mike was talking about wanting to talk about, you know, photographing etiquette. So I think that's probably what he was talking about. And then, Mike, if there's anything else you want to chime in on that, by all means. See, and I wish Mike was in on some of these because he had some good stuff. Okay, to go over this quickly, and Boris, I don't know if you've ever run a panel, have you?
No.
Yeah, that's totally not his thing.
I know you have.
I have. And I do have. If you decide you want to run a fan panel, I think Spooky's doing fan panels this year. If you run a fan panel, basically the biggest thing you want to do is not just give information, but you want to engage your audience. Very often, if you do contests, you do giveaways, you know, trivia questions, you know, and your whole point is to engage the audience in what you're doing. That's the biggest tip I can give. You're giving information, but you're not really giving lecture. Let's say if you're talking about, you know, horror writing, you know, you want to like ask questions of your audience. You know, you want to have a conversational level of, instead of just, you know, reading off cue cards, which I have done, and it's very easy. The biggest thing, like I said, you want to make things engaging. If you have visual props, Mike and I have done panels together on horror costuming, and Mike has always been a huge hit because he's brought some of his armor and passed it around so people can actually see up close what they're doing. So regardless of what you want to do a fan panel topic on, I recommend, you know, like I said, engaging the audience, doing, you know, giveaways. People love giveaways. I don't care if it's stupid little buttons, you know, people love giveaways. Yes, Mike says, ask for them to ask you questions. So yes, encourage the audience. Anything they want to ask, there's no stupid questions. And that's why the panelists are there, to educate you. So any questions you have, you know, that's always really good. And like I said, giveaways, engaging the audience, and try to keep, like I said, try to keep the tone conversational, and and it's always fun to have one of the panelists be comedic relief. And Michael, remember this one. I have a story about one of the panels that we did together. My friend Laura, and I love Laura to death. Laura is an absolute. I think you may know Laura. She hangs out in Tampa. She hangs out at the castle all the time.
Oh, Laura Rifkin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And right, Laura, we called you out. And it's epic to this day because she showed up to the panel drunk on Jaeger.
I think I was in the audience for that one.
You might have been. And she was a blast the whole time. I mean, I remember, because I was still nervous. I was still trying to find my footing. I was trying to say something, and she told me to sit down and shut up. And she just went off. She was embarrassing people in the audience, and it was very interactive. And even Mike and I just kind of looked at each other like, all right, it's the Laura show. Okay. But she engaged the audience. Everybody had a good time, and it was standing room only. So,
yeah, that was a good panel.
Yeah. See, even Boris as an audience member, because she was something else. This, like I said, you're entertaining. You're not just giving information, but you're entertaining. So that's something to absolutely keep in mind. And that's the whole thing. Yeah, and then Mike's just LOL because no, Mike remembers how Laura was, and like I said, that was, God, what, 3-4 years ago, and people are still talking about it to this day. No, she was pretty epic on that. That's for damn sure. No, she was absolutely okay. Tips for running a good panel. Okay, and the last thing I wanted to discuss was some of the events, and I suppose we can wait for another episode to etiquette for like how not to be a douche, because there's 20 million ways to how not be a douche. But we're already running at 11:30, so we'll save that for the next one. But I wanted to discuss some of the events. First thing, like I said, Boris was talking about the film festival. Yeah, Mike just said Laura ran with it and they loved it. Nope, and he's absolutely right. And be be humble. Well, Mike, see, Mike is a humble man. Mike is a very humble man. I can be when I want to be. Laura is not humble. But you know what? That works for her. She's a great character and she does great on panels. And I would love to do a panel with her again, probably hiding underneath a table while she does it. But those are good things to keep in mind. But yes, the film festival. Now, someone by the name of Blair Bathory. I don't know much about her. I think she's kind of, she's kind of new on the scene, and
she has a YouTube show.
Yes, and Boris can tell us what he knows about Blair, and I will put the link to Fear House, her show, right above his head there. So now, what is Fear House? Do you know?
She does she shows short horror films. They're like 10 to 20. They're like shorts, so they're like 10 to 20 minutes long, I think. Okay. And I've watched a couple episodes, and they're pretty cool.
Yeah, she's I guess a horror hostess, I guess is how you would put it.
Yep.
Yeah, so she started the Fear House show a few months ago, I believe, and apparently she is going to be hosting the film festival. And yeah, the reason I'm bringing this up, because part of it, I guess, Freak Show Film Festival of the past is doing their own thing now. So Blair is hosting up this one, and I guess Fear House has something to do with it. The cutoff for submissions. So if you are a filmmaker, or if you know a filmmaker who has film shorts, do you know what? I will look up information for her and I will post it down here. But September 7th. September 7th is the cutoff. So if you have a horror short that you want to get into this film festival, September 7th, and submit it to Blair Bathory at Fear House. So
less than a month.
It's less than a month, which is why I wanted to bring it up now. So if you've got stuff that you want to submit, and there have been some great stuff that we've seen in the past. I mean, there was the screening in October of Bubba the Redneck Werewolf.
Yeah, that's a great
become
movie.
A bit of a cult favorite. Yeah, it's been a cult favorite, and there's been a few others as well. So keep an eye on that. So there's the film festival. And yes, Friday night for those of you, and I don't know who's doing the shadow cast. I will find out. For those of you that are fans of Repo the Genetic Opera, they're doing a shadow cast on Friday night.
Nice.
So if that's your thing, I know who the shadow cast is. I just don't know their name.
Is it the same guys that do Rocky Horror, or is it a separate group?
No, it is a separate group. I don't remember their names. I've seen the shadow cast, and they're very, very well done. I just don't know the name because I'm not a fan of the movie. Yeah,
okay.
Repo's not my thing. I'm more of a Rocky fan. But yeah, so Repo the Genetic Opera, that will be Friday night. Something to keep in mind. And Saturday night, and this is going to be a big one. Saturday night is going to be the Rocky Horror Show, and that's, like I said, Halloween night. Yeah, Halloween night. There's going to be a Rocky Horror shadow cast.
Yeah. And it's actually, I think that it's going to be hosted by the guys from the movie that are. Is Barry Bostwick there?
Yes, Barry Bostwick, Little Nell, and Patricia Quinn.
Yeah. Yep. So is Patricia Quinn coming back? Nice.
Yes. I think it is Patricia Quinn, right? Yes. I think, yes. It's
Little Nell. Maybe it is both of them. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it is both of them and Barry Bostwick, so that's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Mike just said they're doing one of the Rocky Horror with the guests. Yeah. So that's going to be epic, and for old school Rocky Horror fans like me, that's going to be a do not miss. Mm-hmm. The other thing that is going on Halloween night. Wait, Mike just said something. Oh, Mike just said yes. Okay, so all right, good. So Mike's on board with us. He's virtually with us, and Mike, I'm going to figure out what the hell happened tonight. I'm sorry. The other one that's going on, and we're going to get into this when we talk about the guest because he's going to be a guest. Voltaire is putting on a Halloween show.
Yeah, Voltaire's awesome.
Voltaire's amazing. And so he's actually putting on a show Halloween night. And so I can only imagine the crazy shit he's going to have in store. Yeah, Mike's like, wait, Mike's going to be doing the time warp? Oh. There's Rocky Horror. Show up for Mike doing the time warp. That's going to be, I'm showing up for that. And that's going on YouTube. Okay, but yeah, I am definitely going to be doing the Voltaire show as well. Sorry, had to. But no, Voltaire puts on a hell of a show to begin with. And I can only imagine what kind of special stuff he's going to have in store for Halloween night. And these are just a couple of the events that they're going to have going on all weekend. This is besides the Q&As and the panels, and we haven't even heard about the bands yet. I also know there's the Tattoo Festival. They have some of the tattoo artists from Ink Master, I want to say. I think it's
LA Ink maybe, or Ink.
Maybe. There's a couple of tattoo shows. I'm not sure which is from which. But yeah, that's something else because we're going to do a whole episode. But they are going to have a tattoo festival, and they also are going to have what's the other one I had here? The Munsters Museum.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
yes.
the cars and.
Yes, they're going to have Dracula and some of the stuff that was actually used in the show. If I'm not mistaken, that is going to be run by Butch Patrick.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got a lot of screen accurate and screen used Dracula, and he's got I think statues with some of the clothing used from the show, and there's just all sorts of Eddie's bicycle. I'm sure he's got the original Wolfie, and so for those of you that are fans of the show, Butch Patrick, and I believe he's running it. I will double check on that, but he's also going to be running the Munsters Museum. Like I said, there's tons of stuff going on, and this is just a little sampling. We're 70 days out, and there's still a lot more that they haven't even announced yet. So believe me, there will be no shortage of things to do for you and for the kids.
Yep.
So that's something else to keep in mind. And I think now, Mike, if there was something else that you wanted to bring up, let's see, because he had a couple notes, and I'll just read these off. So let's see if he wants to chime in here. He said, I think general etiquette would be a good one to mention, like when to ask to take a photo, watching out for the people you are with, how to act with the guests to have a better experience at the con, which I have a whole rant on that I will get into the episodes on guests. And he says, my favorite, people watching. Actually, people watching is probably a good one to end the show with. I mean, so Boris, I mean, you love people watching as much as I do.
Yeah, now, why just sit off to the side, and I mean, you see all sorts of stuff. It's good. It's good to do it with someone so you can talk about people.
as we have done.
Yes. Only
but yeah,
positive
but yeah, it's people watching is definitely one of the better things to do. And one of the things I love about this hotel is that there are a number of overhanging balconies where you can watch from above, and there's a lot of seating areas. So especially those of you that like are, have really hurting feet, which, we talked about, what to do for your feet and everything. There's a lot of seating areas, so you can sit and people watch there.
Mm-hmm.
So, so what would you say, like, is your favorite thing about people watching at Spooky?
I don't know. It's just it's just part of the experience.
It's just part of the experience. Wait. Sorry, had to do it. But yeah, no, I do think people watching is one of the better things to do at Spooky, and especially when you get overwhelmed like a lot of us do, and like I said, there's going to be a lot of events, there's going to be a lot of guests, there's going to be a lot going on. Just sitting back and taking it all in, and just people watching it. There's no words. It's really one of the best things to do outside of just like spending quality time with your spooky family. Okay, we are going to hold off unless Mike has anything he wants to add. I'm going to hold off on the 10 tips on how not to be a douche. They should be obvious. Like I don't yet. We were going to get into that. You know what? Before we end, Boris, what would you say are some of your top tips for not being a douche at Spooky? Okay, Mike just said being able to tell. Yeah, Mike just said being able to tell who is genuine and who is just there as a fanboy. Oh God, yeah, that's fun. That's a fun game to play for when it comes to people watching. Okay, but yes,
there's too many things, so I can't think of any right now. But
all right, so we will make a list, and we will start off our next episode with how not to be a douche, because that stuff's important. And I hope you guys have been listening to these casts, because there's a million ways of how not to be a douche, but we're going to reiterate those regardless. Okay, I believe that's. Oh God, I think we've been running long. Wait, we're always running long. What else is new? I know.
That's what she said.
Wait. Oh, wait. There we go. There's your laughter. There's your laughter. Bad clown. All right. I think we're going to be ending this episode. And in the description, I will be putting links to things that we talked about and, all that good stuff. If you have something you'd like to add, something you'd like us to talk about, even questions, like I said, we have the question and answer app. That's over here. There we go. But yeah, we'll be getting into that next time. But yes, if we have any more information that you would like us to find out for you, by all means, let us know. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. I hope you guys are getting some good information from all this. And we will see you guys next week. Maybe. I don't know about this guy.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I won't get maybe I'll get
you know what? We haven't heard. Yeah, I know, right? Have we heard any? We haven't heard anything from Darth Tater. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Darth Tater, man.
We will rule the universe as Father and Spud.
There we go. I hate that laughter one. I don't like that. Wait. I don't like that one either. There we go. That's better. All right. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.
And good night.